the shit out of it.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Welcome to the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. We can stay up late, swapping manly stories, and in the morning, I'll make it pop.
With your host, Parker. Featuring the sultry sounds of Fred and also Alan on the board.
Let's go already!
And now, let's start the damn show.
Welcome, one and all, to the 191st edition of the Black Lincoln Collective Podcast, the official podcast of Itty Bitty Whittle Snowflakes. We are proudly broadcasting live from the palatial EC Studios, scattered all across the upstate of South Carolina. And you can catch us on YouTube, Insta, Facebook, Blue Sky, and all of your favorite podcast platforms. And of course, on our favorite website, which is americasfavoritepodcast.com. And now it's the guy who knows what to do with that ass. Or no, it's the guy who knows what that ass do. It's Fred. That's what that ass do.
Oh, that ass it just be shitting. Pooping and farting and shitting.
That's right.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
I got you guys today, I think.
Yeah, she sure
Yeah, you did. You got
Hopefully we
me
won't lose any
covered,
more
boy. That's
listeners from it.
funny. And the guy who's out of town and knows how to get down,
Hey.
Alan OTB.
Yeah, I even got the crowd.
Yeah,
Man,
the remote crowd.
man.
Light it out.
It's the AI generated crowd.
It is. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We do appreciate you listening. If you're still listening,
Yeah.
why would you be? I don't know. But we're here. It's great. Still Pride Month. Just leaving that out there for a second. And we love every single one of you, even the people who don't love us back.
Love everybody.
He's
I love
leaving it out
everybody.
there.
Just leaving that out there.
He's just
I'm
letting it hang.
dangle.
Yeah, just
Let
letting
it
it
hang
hang.
all out.
My dangle's jangling for you guys this month. ladies and
Showing them
gentlemen.
what that PP do.
That's right. And I said, what they said. They said, what them nuts do? And I said, hang, baby.
Hey.
So welcome to the show. Now that we've
Look.
run all the ladies off.
Yeah. Nah,
It's
it's
just
man's
just
turn.
fellas. Yeah, man talk.
Man,
Man talk. Well, speaking of man talk, Fred, I
talk it, man.
I have had a fuck of a week is probably the nicest way to say it.
Fuckable?
Do you want to hear the good or the bad first?
Well, if it,
Now,
is
hold
it a
on.
good
You
fuckable
say
or is-
yeah,
said-
that's what
I
I'm
didn't say
saying.
a
Like if some
Week. I said a fuck of a week.
Oh, I thought you said
oh,
fuckable.
No,
I
no.
I
I've
did
never
too.
in
I
my-
was like,
You
Never in my
know?
life have I
I've-
experienced a week that I was like, hey, I'd bang that.
yeah.
But, I mean, maybe next week. I don't know.
My dick in that week, man.
Yeah. I'm like, hey,
This is like,
what
I'm
that
gonna get
weekend
fucked
do?
this week. Yeah, I mean, this is a fucking
Yeah.
week.
This is a fuckable week right here.
Tell me
boy.
what that weekend do. Anyway, so yeah, Fred, I got a good story, I got a bad story, and
Yeah.
kind of an in between.
right.
So I'll let you decide.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, give me the good shit, bro.
All right, good stuff. Hey, Fred, how do you think?
Yep.
Or no, wait, what do you think about
What?
America's
do I think?
pastime?
Wow.
No,
Baseball?
not baseball.
What, jacking
No,
off?
No?
Nope. America's pastime is professional style wrestling.
Yes.
Wrestling.
Let's be realistic. That's more American than baseball.
It's sports
Hey,
entertainment.
you know. Yeah.
Exactly.
Violent.
It's sports and entertainment together.
Yeah.
It's
So
titties.
I got the pleasure of taking some of the kids, and you may have seen this on our Facebook if you look at our Facebook for some reason, to Extreme Turbo Super Wrestling right here in the little
yeah.
town of Fountain Inn. And man, let me tell you, they are not a sponsor. All right. But we had
But they should be.
grand old time. Yeah, dude. No, 100%.
Yeah.
They totally should be.
Yeah, they should be.
It was awesome. It was exactly what I expect from small
Turbo,
town
give
wrestling.
us some free tickets and we'll
Dude,
promote
I mean, they'll be back in 2 months. So I'm back.
in
I'm
2
there. Already.
months.
Yep.
All
In
right.
August, they'll be back. And hopefully by then we can get somebody from there on the show because I did talk to other
Right.
people. And Dave knows
Okay.
him very well. Former, he was his sports
Of
reporter
course.
on the beat.
Yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was
Right.
like, "What are
Oh,
you
he was
doing here?" He's
there.
like, I'm reporting on the beat. And I was
he
like,
finally
oh.
made it back from
wrestling.
China. He made
Yeah.
it back from China.
Yeah,
Finally.
right.
I was like, why are you? I said, well, who are you going to report it to? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, all right, well, fine.
Yeah.
So, but
We send
still,
his ass to
nonetheless,
Ukraine.
that's right. That's where we're headed next. But no, Fred, they had some of the best. Like again, understand
Right.
this was not. There are probably maybe 300 people there, maybe a little bit more. It's hard to guess.
That's pretty
It's hard-
good.
It's hard to estimate. Yeah.
Good
No, it
crowd
was a
for
good
that, though.
crowd. No, it was
That's a good crowd for
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Great crowd.
Yeah,
Crowd
good
had
crowd.
fun, talking
Right.
shit to the wrestlers, talking shit to
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah,
Like-
I think what was tickets? $25?
$20 for a front row. Like
20
less than that,
bucks?
I think. Yeah, I
For
think I
front
said
And 300 people?
Yeah.
That's good, man.
tickets were $12. And
Go jump around. I'll do that.
yeah, it was fun, dude. It was great. And so, it was like I said, I think there were like 8 matches and they were
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
So my oldest son came with us and he was like, I think this is dumb. Before we got there, he's like, wrestling is fake, blah, blah, blah. And I said, it's real to me, damn it. But he didn't understand what that meant. And so I said, listen, little Dowdy Magoo, just come out here,
Yeah.
sit down, and just watch it. Like, just give it a chance.
Mhm.
Just watch it, right? And
Right.
so the first match comes and goes. We are still like, they were like, we got a bonus match first thing. Here's like 2 scrubs. Because, they always do that. I
Yeah.
mean, and
Nice.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Here in
new
local
guys.
wrestling.
The new guys.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
the
2
new
guys,
are
it
the
was like
right
Tommy Dreamer and Bama Bahama. Or something. I
Yeah.
don't fucking know who
It
it
was
was.
probably like they probably won a contest from the audience. You know what I'm saying?
They might
were
have.
like,
I thought
"You
at one
two
point
get-"
I was gonna-
yeah, we'll pick 2 guys from the audience.
Yeah,
and let 'em go.
who's got tights on under their pants? So we get out.
If you don't, we'll let you borrow some.
That's right. We got plenty of from last year.
We got-
So, so we're walking in as that match is taking place, right? And I'm like, okay, that it started a little early, which that's fine. So we got some drinks, the kids got a soda or whatever, and we sat down, or we were going to sit down, and I was like, we got kids. I said, look at this, we got front row seats. Like this is cool,
Yeah.
And we get there, we get to our seats, and there's a family sitting in our seats. And I was like, here we fucking go. I'm going to get into a wrestling match outside the ring. Because it was a guy, he was of similar proportion to me, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Littler,
Oh,
not
yeah.
not nearly, but he was what he lacked in height, he made up for in width. You know what I mean? So he was a little littler, but a little wider as well. So, it was a perfect match. It would have been a great wrestling match.
It'd have been like Jam Gigolo versus the Big Hoss Man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Except we both would have gotten winded just getting into the ring.
Right.
That's my thing. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna do one chest slap and then I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
that'll be great.
And then you
Yeah,
put
that's the
me-
end of the
you
wrestling.
put me and it's over. It's
Good
over.
day. But no, so I went up to the guy and I tried to be polite because I was like, I asked the kids, I was like, listen, guys, should because I'm trying not to be okay. So I'm really, really trying not to be an asshole like around my kids or to my kids
Right.
for that matter, but mostly
Yes.
around them. Still a little bit too.
Right.
But so I was like, all right, guys, because it's just me and the boys. And I was like, all right, boys, do we want to sit in the second row, even though we're supposed to sit in the front row, or do you want me to say something to these people? And Jack's like, I don't really care what we do. And Nate was like,
Nate was like, get him, daddy.
Nate was like,
Nate was like, "Where's the knife?"
yeah, Nate was like, I want to sit in the front row. And I was like, all right, cool.
He's like,
That's all I need to know.
Don't worry, Dad. I got this.
Yeah.
I got
I've been
this.
waiting on this. So I was like, all right.
My
So I
time
went
to
up to him
shine, baby.
and I tapped the gentleman on the shoulder. Family of 3, we're 3 as well.
All right.
And I'm like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. I think you guys are in my seat or in our seats. I'm trying to be, again, trying to be nice. And he's like, no. And I was like, well, I said, here's the thing, man. Like, here's my tickets. You can look at them. They have
compare
the
'em.
number of the seat that you're sitting on. So, and he's like, well, God damn it. I paid for these sheets. And I was like, well, that doesn't seem like that's my problem. So get out of my seats. Like, because at this point, I'm like, all right, dude, we're not doing this.
Right.
Like, we're
I'm
not
not
playing
gonna
this
do this.
game. Yeah, like
Right.
I'm not gonna wrestle you at a wrestling match. No. So, and he was like, all right, whatever. And he wasn't a terrible guy or anything. He was just, he was mad because he
Right.
thought he got front row seats and he got second row seats. Oh, what a life.
Nah, there you
What a
go.
terrible life
Sorry.
he lives.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
and
the
I'm like,
turbo.
and I made sure to sit right in front of his ass because my tall ass walked with you the entire time. I let the kids, I told the boys, I was like, you guys sit in front of that kid, and then the wife, Jack, you sit in front of the wife. She can see over. I'll sit in front of Chubbs here. And like, and I made sure, like, I don't usually sit up straight, kind of like the slouch, but the whole time I'm like, yeah, I'm just sitting tall as shit.
When the event was over, Parker's like, "Oh, my fucking back!"
Back hurts.
Well, so like we're sitting there, and there's guys. I can hear them the whole time, man. Because so they moved back to this is what happened. They moved back to the second row, right behind us. No big deal. And then like 5 minutes later, somebody came up and did the exact same thing to him and said, "Sorry, bro, you guys aren't in the second row. Look at your tickets." And they're in the third row. So they weren't actually in the third row. And so he's just like, "Well, goddamn, I paid for those fucking front row tickets." And I like turn around like, "No, you didn't, bitch." And
No, you didn't.
so then like finally, I mean, he was just bitching like during the thing, which that was fine.
You should have kicked in the extra $7, bro.
Right. I'm like, dude, it wasn't. Well, here's what's crazy. Here's the trick though, Fred, is I didn't purchase front row seats. I purchased second, or I seriously, I'm not even kidding. I purchased best available, and it said best available is second or third row. Right. So I was like, okay, that's cool. I just pick it. I didn't look. I just said, give me the 3 best available seats. And so I paid the second or third row amount, but my ticket, the ticket that it produced was front row. So I was like, well, I mean, I got a front row seat. I don't know what else to tell you. The ticket says row 1, seat 1. That's me, bitch.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
Yeah. So we get into the matches, and like the first match was pretty fun. There's a guy who's like dancing. It was like black dude with big dreads, and he was like doing dance moves everywhere.
Nice.
It was fucking awesome. And Jack got into it because then he was like, "Oh, that guy can dance," and I'm like, "Yeah, he's a good dancer." This is not what we came for, but he's a great dancer.
I'll take a dance, man. Fuck the wrestling.
Well, and then he did, but see, that's the thing is he did like a wrestler would, and like incorporated his dance moves into his wrestling moves.
Yeah.
Right. So he'd do like a whoop, and then like hold it, and the other person would be like, "What?" And then like back, and then he'd punch him in the face. And it was awesome because it was small town wrestling, and you could hear everything and see everything. You very quickly figured out these guys are not faking this. These like slaps and hits are fucking real.
No,
and
they
that's
know
what people.
the only difference is they know it's coming.
Yeah.
That's the misconception. Wrestling is not fake. It's scripted.
Yeah, it's scripted.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
not fake. It's scripted. These motherfuckers.
Right. And that's what I tried to explain to him. Like, listen, I said, if you sit through this, you will see very quickly it is not fake. You cannot fake getting slammed into the ground.
Right.
No, it's not fake. It's not fake.
You might be able to like fall in a way that doesn't hurt as much. Right. And so like as we're going through this match, and I can show pictures to you guys later, but like as we're going through even the first match, you start seeing blood on these guys' chests. And like blood and like big, huge welts on their arms and stuff from where they're just getting pounded on. And so I'm like, dude, like this is awesome, Jack. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And so we kind of go through a few more matches. They had a couple girls matches, a lot of talking. He lost it at the talking part, which I understand. Nobody really wants to like. I'm like,
right. It's the promotion, like, hey, there, Jim Bob, I'm gonna.
Right. Well, yeah, but here's what was great. Here's who did the talking. The guy who did the talking, maybe my favorite wrestler of the night. Probably my favorite wrestler of the night. He was a Boy Scout, but he was a man, so he was Man Scout. And like he came in and he's like, "Oh, I do I guess every time he calls his fireside chat because he's a scout." And so he's like, "I'm doing my fireside chat real quick tonight, and so he comes out, he's got like a tent with him, like a big like pop-up tent, and that's his partner. He's like, this is my partner tent. And so just tent. And so he's like talking, and he's talking all this shit about the champ, whoever the champ is, and the champ comes out, and like they're walking right by us. Everybody's walking right by us, so we're like, boo, you suck, blah, 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 or like getting high fives from the people we like, and we don't know any of them. So I just take cues from our sports reporter who's sitting. We weren't sitting beside each other. He was sitting kind of like caddy corner from us, but he was front row too.
Yeah.
So I would just wait till the announcer came out, or the person came out, and I would watch our sports reporter. And if he cheered, I was like, kids, cheer for this guy. If he booed, I'm like, boo, fuck this guy.
Oh, so he would tell you who's the heel and who's the
right, exactly. Yeah. And that was his, like, he knew what, I was like, we'll just play our cues from him. Right. And so we're like hanging out. And so finally we get to Man Scout. Like I said, Man Scout's like, hey, champ, you're a pussy. I'm the Man Scout. And like, and the only thing about Man Scout that I didn't necessarily, I'll say jive with, is that Man Scout has
booty daddy shorts.
No, he did. That's fine. But he has a salute that he does, and it's awfully familiar to me, and not in a good way.
Yeah, but was he a good guy or a bad guy?
Well, he was a good guy. He's a scout.
Well, no, not exactly. Not exactly, because Big Boss Man was a cop, but he was a heel.
Yeah, no, he's not a heel. He's definitely a face. And then because the champ is the heel, you see. Because when the champ came out, it was like blah, blah, blah. And then the tent's in the ring the whole time. And then they throw the tent out of the ring and they start pounding on each other, right? And there's a girl, like the champ has a girl with him or whatever, and that's like his manager.
Right.
And so like both of them are beating up on Man Scout, and Man Scout's like finally starts to fight back. And then all of a sudden everybody in the crowd is like, tent. And I'm like, yeah, tent. What does that mean? And somebody grabs the tent and throws it into the ring. And when they, I swear to God, he grabbed it, sat it down, and threw the two people in the tent, jumped in there with them, and then they like wrestled around inside
that was
the tent
awesome.
for like 30 seconds. We couldn't see anything because they're in the tent, right?
Yeah, they're in the tent, just shaking
then, like,
the tent.
every now and again, one person would like, you'd see an arm reach through the hate, like trying to get out, you know what I mean? And get pulled back in. It was fucking classic, man. It was exactly what I want from a wrestling show. And so like that, of course, and not spoiler alert, I guess, if you care, Man Scout did not win, but he put up a good fight.
No.
Okay.
Right.
Champ can't beat the champ.
Champ held on to his belt.
Yeah,
he's a champ for a reason. And I will say, out of all the people, he looked it's Pride Month, guys. He looked the part of like the champ. Like he was like the most chiseled guy. He wasn't like the biggest guy, but he had that like, back in the like
muscle.
Let's say
he's the face of right now,
like,
so he,
nice muscle, you know what I mean? Like Chris
Yeah.
Jericho. Like, ooh, that guy's like
He's trying to.
that's a good
He's
looking
trying
guy.
to get moved up to the ACW.
Right to whatever's next, which I totally understand. I mean, and he did. I could see him being that guy because he had the look, the face, and so that happens, and they're like, we're gonna take an intermission. And, during the intermission, Nate's like, I want to get a shirt. And I was like, cool, let's go get a shirt. Let's go find somebody, get a shirt. And there's one girl who's, her thing is like, she's from like an anime. And so I know for a fact, Fred, you've heard your kids say this. Her catchphrase, you'll never guess it, is, ooh,
Yeah.
the ooh woo that the kids do all the time because their brain rot as hell. That's her catchphrase. So she'll be like, she's like, worship me, or like, notice me. Ooh woo. And right. So I'm like, throughout when she wrestled, I kept like going like, ooh woo, and like Nate and Jack like, Dad, stop. It's like, we're gonna keep doing this forever. And so we get through, like I said, we go over, we find her booth because like she's got stickers and some other stuff, and Nate's like, ooh, stickers, And so I'm like, okay, we'll get a shirt, we'll get a sticker. And when we go to pay for it, some old dude walks up and he's like, hey, y'all like wrestling? I was like, yeah, man. I said, this is my, I've been to wrestling before, but this is my son's first time. He's really enjoying it so far. He's like, you know what? I got a son. I'm like, cool. cool story, bro. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna cover everything. And I was like, are you sure, man? And he's like, yeah. He gave him like $40, and he's like, here, keep the change. And I was like, damn, what a nice guy, man. I was like, I really, truly,
That's awesome.
I'm like, I appreciate it, man. You didn't have to do that, but that's really sweet of you. And he's like, no, my kids are grown up, man. And I just like seeing kids who get into it. And I said, well, he's really into it. So Nate wore the shirt the rest of the trip. And then we got to after the intermission, we got to the real shit. Like now we have 2 matches left. And, time's running out. It's like a 2.5-hour show. And we're getting to the nitty gritty. So it's a 3-on-3 tag match. But it's no rules. And so there's chairs involved, like legitimately people getting hit with chairs.
Nice.
There's stop signs involved.
Yeah.
At one point, they pour Legos all over the ring and start body slamming people into Legos.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that's gonna hurt.
And they're like body slamming people left and right and all this stuff. And then, like at the end, the guy gets a chair or a door, like an interior door in a house. And they somehow get two of the guys on their knees, like with their backs to make like chairs. And he puts the door on that. And then he body slams the third guy through the door on top of the 2 guys. And the door smashes into 1,000 pieces. Fucking awesome. It was awesome. So I highly recommend
it is awesome, man.
that you go. Like I said, next time it's in Fountain, I'll let you guys know. We'll make sure we're going to try and get these guys. At least get somebody on the show to talk about it. Because it was so much fun, family friendly, cheap prices. Like you really could, dude. It was awesome. Like I went in expecting like, okay, yeah, this will be fine. Like this will be, whatever, who cares? And by the time I left, I was like, I love wrestling again. Like, but I don't care about it if it's on TV. Like that's the thing. Is like I tried to watch it because
you got to be there.
And I was like, this is lame. But like seeing it in live, like that close, made it so much more fun. So it was super fun.
My wife did that. She sponsored because like she has to sponsor stuff for her job, and she sponsored the guys one time, the wrestler. I don't know if it was Turbo or is it another like
there's a couple
local, but there's a couple of them around there. Right. And so we went and like we had front row seats just like you. Yeah. And like the best part was like the guy was coming out. Like you said, we didn't know who these guys was, who's the heel, who's the face. And the guys walking, I was like, Luke, stick your hand out, ask for a high five, something like that. The guy, he comes out strutting, and my son's got his hand out there, and the guy goes, yeah, woo! Like,
and I was now we know who the heel is.
He's like, yeah. He's like, Dad, it's not funny. You set me up. I was like, I didn't know.
You didn't know.
But you can't beat that little small town shit.
So we're like there was one match where the guy was really little. He was like a little dude going up against another dude. Yeah. And like the other guy had eyeballs on his shirt, and I was like, "Oh, it's Eyeballs." I don't know his name. I don't. So I'm like, "Go Eyeballs! You suck, Eyeballs!" And everybody's like, "Oh, that's great." But then the little dude after the thing, he lost. Little dude lost because the other guy was like a foot taller than him. And he goes over and takes some pictures with some kids, and one of the people in the audience, just out of the blue, is like, "Hey, I can't tell which one's the kid and which one's the wrestler." And like the guy who was the wrestler just started cracking up, and he's just like, "Oh my god!" And like it was so funny, like to have that interaction. Then in the last match, there's a guy sitting beside me. He's a dad. He's got a kid beside him, and I'll wrap it up. But he's like, they're facing the opposite way, wrestling, whatever. And he's like, he's choking him, ref. He's just choking him because it was a girl. It was a women's title championship or whatever. And so she's like, she's choking him, she's choking him. And like he keeps yelling it like 30 times in a row because we can't see anything. And then all of a sudden, like the wrestler who was like in control of the situation grabs the girl up, picks her up, and says, "I'm not choking her," and throws her up against the wall and like clotheslines her. And it was just like, boom, it was so cool though. It was so fun to have that, that moment of just like, oh my god.
Yeah, the audience
interacting with the crowd, man. That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
check out Turbo Wrestling. I'll make sure to tag them.
Give the people what they want.
It was great, man. It really was. I would do it. I would happily go do that anytime. Way more fun than like a great way to spend. I mean, I spent $60 on tickets, but we, like you said, we got we got great seats. Well worth $60.
3 hours.
It's like going to see a movie. 2.5 hours. Yeah.
2.5 hours. Okay.
Yeah. 2.5 hours, but
pure
good wrestling.
Shit.
Yeah. And like I said, just yell, so the kids were, because at first the kids were like, I don't want to yell. And I'm like, you have to yell. Like you have to say stuff. You have to say boo or yay or whatever. And so by like the end of it, they were into it, and that was the best part for me, is like them feeling
that was it was at the mill, right?
Yeah, it was at the mill in Fountain. Yeah. So super fun outdoors. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. I mean, you got to get involved, because if you get involved, then the wrestlers just get involved too.
Well, and it pumps them up. That's what they want. And that's why I explained to them, like, listen, the bad guys want you to boo them, and the good guys want you to cheer for them. And that's how they know if they're doing a good job or not. If you're booing the bad guys, then they're doing good. So it was great. It was super fun. I know we got to go to a break soon, but I'll hold my other story for another day, because it's a good story. But it's worth it. But I know we promised our audience that we would get to Professor Freddy's not sexperiment.
When did we promise
it's
that?
Not.
We promised it.
When did we promise that?
It's an implied promise.
We promised.
I promised them we wouldn't talk about politics.
Yeah, but you promised. You never promised anything.
I did promise it, and it's real.
I promised. In his heart, he promised it.
Yes.
It's an implied promise. It's the promise that you make to your viewers, Alan.
So, okay.
You just don't want to do it.
So, it's not.
Exactly.
I get it.
Okay. So, I've been doing a little research on, I've been getting older and stuff like this. And I came across an article that said that men over the age of 40 start to lose their dexterity.
Sure.
So like that's doing two things at once.
Yep.
So it came with like a little experiment. I did it. I passed it. So I figured I would pass it on to you guys and see if
we fail.
You would pass it. Yeah. See if you fail. Yeah. I mean,
right.
See how true the shit is. So okay. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna have to remember this sentence. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'm writing it down.
My income. No, you can't use any pencil or paper.
You didn't say how I can remember,
because I had it right now. Yeah.
Okay.
You have to remember it with your brain.
What is it?
But my income.
But my income.
But my income.
But my income. But my income.
Okay.
Like get paid. But my income.
I feel like we're gonna do it. I think this is just like the N-word quiz.
You think you're gonna pass? No, it's not.
I don't know.
It's totally different. It's totally different. It's
I might pass,
I think you're gonna pass. Okay. So, all right. Now I'm not gonna tell you that again. No more okay. I'm gonna give you everything one time, and then I'm just gonna give it to you one time. So you have to use your brain.
Yep. Great.
All right. So, remember the sentence?
Yep.
This motion.
Touching your nose.
Just
for the record, because we're on radio, Fred, you have to tell people what we're doing.
Yeah, you're touching your nose. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, and remember, guys, we are streaming live on Facebook.
That's right. Every Wednesday, I was supposed to say that. Every Wednesday we stream live on Facebook around 9 and YouTube.
Right.
So
that's two parts. That's two parts.
Touch nose, say sentence.
Yeah. Right. All right.
Okay.
This is the second one. You're just going to put your palm flat on top of your head.
Okay. Right? Same hand as touching your nose.
Same. Yeah, if you want to, you can use
different
hand if you want to. If you want to use two hands.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to do hands. All right. The next one was touch same palm, touch your belly.
Okay.
I'm not going to give you these again. So you're going to have to remember.
Finish this.
Touch your what?
Okay. Touch your belly.
Touch your belly. Just palm on your belly.
Abs,
palm on your belly. That's right. All right.
Grab your six.
Got that? All right.
Yep.
And now do the squat. Okay. Just a little squat. You don't, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking them to just squat down a little, stand up a little bit, and just squat down. It doesn't have to be a deep squat, just a little squat. Just a little squat. All right, you got that? All right. Like I said, I'm not telling you these again. All right.
Okay.
All right. Now, here comes the test.
All right.
All right.
Do we need to do it individually, or do we need to do it at the same time?
You can do it at the same time. It's fine. You can do it at the same time. It's fine. All right. So I'm just going to tell you to do a step. All right. And you're going to have to do the step. All right.
Okay.
Like step 1, 2, 3, or 4. All right.
Okay. So we need to remember what order you said too.
Right. Yeah, that too. All right. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
Let's get it. It's a little complicated, but let's see how your brain works. So do step 2.
Okay.
Do step 2. Oh shit, Alan. That wasn't step 2.
There it was.
I see Alan's failed already.
No, because you said the phrase is not a step.
The phrase is a step.
It is. That's step 1.
Oh, okay. Well then, okay. See, I thought the phrase was
step 1. Yeah, the way I gave them to you. The way I gave them to you.
Oh, okay. Right? Yeah. Well, yeah.
Step 2.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Step 2.
That's touching us.
All right. All right. Now step 3.
Okay.
Yeah, step 3. Yeah.
Step 3. All right. Step 4. He's like, fuck you. Making me scared of his squat. Now say the sentence, but backwards.
Income
not but.
Yeah. Income.
What?
Income not but.
No, income not but.
No,
that's not it.
Oh. Income 2 words. Income.
Oh no!
How can income be 2 words?
Try it and see, Alan.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Try it and see. If your income's 2 words, remember it's but my income.
Oh no. Nope, I ain't saying
it. What?
We're old.
You gotta say it. You gotta say it. Say it backwards.
All right, everybody, come in my butt.
Yeah, he's saying it.
Happy Pride Month, everybody. After these messages,
take a break. welcome back to the 191st edition of the Black Lincoln Collective podcast. Alan says we're coming back, and then we are immediately back. So there you go. That's great. No problem with that at all, Fred.
It's
coming back.
It's
better
Pride
that
Month.
way,
We're
I
coming
guess.
back.
Well, coming back. Like
Fred, I have a question for you. Now that our sex experiment's over, even though it was sort of a sex experiment. What is? So I was driving down the road. And no, it was great. It was great. It was way better than the N-word quiz, which I thought was going to end terribly. So I appreciate that. So Fred, I was driving down the road yesterday, and I was at a stoplight.
Yeah.
And it's a medium busy intersection of, what do you call it? How many lanes? I guess you would call it it's a 4-way intersection, 2 lanes going each way, right? So like two lanes going. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So 2 lanes going across.
Right,
on each. So 8 lane intersection, right? I guess
8 lanes. 8 lanes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So every way had 2 lanes, right?
Had a turning lane, yeah.
Right. And so I noticed, and again, medium busy, wasn't the busiest part of the day. I looked over, and on the sidewalk there was a bill, like a money bill, right?
Yeah, dollar bill.
And I was like, ooh, that could be some money.
Yeah.
And I was like at a stoplight, and I'm like sitting here thinking, okay, so what's the amount of money that needs to be for me to jump my ass out at the stoplight, run over there and grab it, and try to get back to my car without dying?
How'd you see?
Okay, now you were in.
I was in the far lane. Yeah. So if let's, like I said, so I was turning left, right? At this light, left at this light, correct? And so there was another turn. There was another person. There was another lane beside me, but there was no car in it.
But that was the opposite direction lane.
No. It was 2 going my way, 2 coming toward me on the other side, and then 2. You know what I'm saying? So like 2 cars, me and another car, and 2 cars, 2 lanes over here to my going the opposite way on the other side. Right?
Where you at? Harrison Bridge Road?
No, it's just that's fine. That's fine. Harrison Bridge. It's a 4-way stop, 2 lanes. No, I was actually in front of the Bon Secours Wellness Arena downtown. So
yes, okay, that makes a hell of a difference.
That makes the difference, right? That so a medium busy, a pretty busy intersection at times, right?
That's a big intersection.
This was not an on time. This was like medium. Yeah. It was about, it was before rush hour or anything like that. So there was minimal traffic, right? And so, I pull up and I see a bill rolling down the sidewalk in front of the wellness center, right? And again, that's like if you're not listening, because we have listeners right now who are listening to us in
across the world,
all over the world.
Google
this is an arena. It's just an arena. Don't Google it because you'll be disappointed. But it's an arena. So, we're in front of this arena. It's just me. And I'm like, oh, man, like, I see a bill. I can't identify what denomination it is.
Right.
But I was like, so I'm thinking, like, I'm not getting out because I'm not going to die. But I was like, what is the minimum? It was on the sidewalk, but the far sidewalk. So I would have had to cross another.
Right. Yeah. You had to cross.
I have eyes, Alan. Jesus Christ.
Jesus, you're in your car and you can see through the window and see a dollar bill just rolling. It's not like it's a set of boobies.
It's a cat. That's what it was. He just thought it was. He's just so poor. He wished it was money.
No, I was stopped at the light. That's the only reason.
Right. I got you.
Because I was stopped at the light so I could look around.
Okay, you had to stop. I thought you said you were at a 4-way stop.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was at a stoplight and for a turning lane, and so I was, I was like 5 cars back from the light. So not like no big deal. But I was like, man, like what would it take for me to get out of this car and do this? Because I couldn't identify the bill. I just saw what a bill looks like when it's rolling.
Yeah.
So it got me thinking, like, would I do it for 100? Yes.
Yeah.
I'll embarrass myself for 3 seconds and risk death for $100. Had it been busier, probably not. But at that time, I was like, $100. Yes.
You were already in the turning lane.
Right, so, I was already turned, so I'd have had to
made a left. You could have just kept going and be like try to catch it down the street. You know what I'm saying? Come back.
No, because it was going the opposite.
Or go into a park in there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not
so
going
you
to do
take a
that for
left and then
$100.
swing
What
around
I need
the
to
block.
do, no,
Yeah.
what I need to do, I'm about
get out
Fred,
my life.
if I'm nothing
Not
else,
gonna do the
I'm a
logical
man
thing.
of action. So when I see some action happening, I just do it. I don't think about it. I don't consider. I'm telling you, I'm
wrestler
thinking
got
about
his head, and he's like,
yeah,
oh,
I was like, I'm gonna
oh,
fucking jump off the turnbuckle and heel turn this bitch and do a dance move over to it.
Yeah.
But probably fall on some Legos because that's something that sounds like something I would do. So
Right.
I was like, man, so I couldn't figure out what it was, and obviously I did not get out and get it because I was like, what's the chances of it being $100 bill? Well, no, because my thinking is, if I dropped a $100 bill,
5 to 1.
no.
There's only like 5 bills it could have been.
Yeah, but how many? But how many in circulation are $100 bills?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like my thing is, if I had a $100 bill and I dropped it, I would go after it.
Yeah.
If I dropped $5, I might be like, fuck it.
If I drop $5,
no. But I'm saying if
I drop change, I'm picking that shit up.
Yeah.
Well, change hits the ground. If you were to drop a bill on a windy day, it could fly off.
Right, it could be.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know where this bill's from. It could have been from across the town.
Right.
And it just
probably
been
one of
rolling
them ones
around.
that had a hook with a little string on it, and they were fucking with
right.
people.
Right. And that would have been fine. So I was like, but that made me think. Like I said, I was like, I wonder what it would take for Alan and Fred to commit to getting out of the car at a red light. At a red light. I'm not saying at a green light.
Right.
And it just stopped. I just stopped. So I would have had time to get there and get back. I think.
Yeah.
Pretty close. But I was like, would you do it? So with Alan, $100?
Well, if I could see it's $100.
If you could see it's $100,
yeah. I put the thing in park with the flashes on.
For $100. I know Fred would do it for $100.
Right. Yeah,
$50.
I do it for $50, a $50 bill.
Yeah, $50.
52,
yeah.
Yeah, I do it for $20 bill.
You do it for 20. See, I think 20 is about my
No, $20. You said it's a stoplight. Just put the flashes on. I walk out. I'll be like, go fuck yourselves. I got $20.
Yeah, $20. It ain't gonna take me but a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 10.
You're gonna get to where you're going.
If it's a tenner.
A
couple of years ago, I would have, because $10 was worth more a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
$10. Because I'd have been like, oh, that's my lunch rolling down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, that's a third of my lunch rolling down the sidewalk.
Well, it's like Nate said, $1 is $1.
$1 is $1, baby.
$1 is $1.
I don't disagree, but I would absolutely. I don't think I could get out. I don't think I'm willing to risk it for $10.
No, $10. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't.
And I know 5 and 1, and nobody's getting out for a $5 or 1. No,
I'm gonna go get it.
You're gonna go get it no matter what. You're also playing the game. It's hard to identify a bill from that distance. Now, as in
right,
what is it's a bill, but it's hard to say.
No, but if you know it's a $5 bill, if I knew it was a $5 bill, I still do it
for $1 though.
Yeah, I'm still going.
No, I wouldn't do it for $1.
I know I'm gonna risk my fucking life, and I'm going to get hit by a car, and I'll be like, oh, for $1. Or
$1. Hey,
well, and here's my concern.
Hey, you know what?
The
thing about it is, even if it was $1 and I went and got it and put it in my wallet, that $1 will stay in my wallet because I don't really carry cash like that. So like that $1's gonna just stay in my pocket.
It'll live there
until
you remember
it lived there.
Get,
you know what I mean?
So you get $2.
Well, until you remember you get a lottery ticket, and then
no, it'd be probably like Sunday and I'm at church and I'm like, oh yeah, it's collection time and I got that $1 in my pocket.
I'm gonna pretend
let me get this $1 out of my pocket. You know what I mean?
Well, see, but then
you'd be acting all rich and shit.
Like, yeah.
But you also got to remember, Fred, and again, for our listeners who don't understand necessarily maybe where we are in what's considered the Bible Belt. Which is to say that in the southeastern U.S., we are in a very religiously dominated area.
Yeah, there's a
because of that, I have to and because of that, I had to consider. Wait a minute, I've seen multiple flyers that look like money.
Right, yeah.
Where they're like, oh,
when I worked at a restaurant,
is this $100 going to save you from, whatever?
Yeah, people used to do that in a restaurant. Like when I worked at a restaurant, I was serving. Like they'll tip you. It looks like a folded up $20 bill. You'd be like, "Oh yeah," and then you open it up, and it's like,
you're like, "I just gave you eternal life. That's the best tip there is, bro."
Man. Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not. Give me the 20. I'm like, eternal life. I'm gonna get closer to eternal life if you don't give me some fucking money, bitch. So that ran through my head too. Is I'm like this, and then. Well, so now we're insulting religions. So, I'm not insulting you.
We're done. No, you're not insulting religions. You just threatened to kill somebody.
No, I just said pay me money instead of telling me about Jesus. That's not threatening to kill somebody. That's just if you gave me the choice of hearing another sermon in the South or getting $20.
The Lord says
he likes $20.
He likes a cheerful giver.
Right. Jesus said, hook it up, bitch.
I said so hard.
Pretty sure that's in the Bible. So Jesus was like, hey, hook it up, bitch. And they were like, yeah, you got it. So, he should have. I would have. So
thanks, dog.
Because of all those factors, like I said, I'm like, I can't get out. Because that would also make sense to me. See, that's the thing is I'm thinking, that I could see someone like throwing out of their car and it just floating down the Ray because who the fuck wants that?
Yeah.
Right?
Because I'm telling you, it's for the homeless dude.
Exactly.
Like the homeless dude go to catch it. Like, oh man, I'm gonna give you some wine today. No.
Yeah, he's like, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna buy a Bible with this. And then they're like, nope.
You go get some Jesus today.
You're gonna
get
get
some
Jesus. And like you're gonna be mad about it. And you should be mad about it. Because like that's the dirtiest feeling is when you think like, oh, check it out, I got this, and then no, not that. So I'm just like I said, I wanted to check with you guys.
It's like getting the front row tickets for a wrestling match and ended up in the third row.
Exactly.
And actually going back to that, it would have sucked if you would have been like, I'm just gonna let him sit in that front row.
Right.
Because if you had done that, then you would have gotten bumped to the third row.
I'm going to be honest with you. I am willing to sit in the second row as opposed to the first row because I'm not that much of a jerk. But had that some other guy been like, no, you're supposed to be in the third row, I'd be like, nope, we're fixing this right now. Get the fuck up out of my seat, man. Like that's different. Now you want to get in the right seat, then I want to get in the right seat. You know what I'm saying? Like. Because I have the right to the best seat. So that changes things a little bit,
It would have sucked.
A little bit.
It would have been
because he would have been like, all right, I'm gonna be a nice guy. I'll get in the second row. And then you're sitting there, and then the guy from the second row is like,
no.
Oh no, this is my seat, man.
Yeah, you was you right.
Like, well, I was nice and let them
Well, see,
ain't nobody gonna do it for you.
No,
that's right. That's true. Well, see, and this is piggybacking off the other day, and this is not the other story I was going to tell, which I can probably tell if we want. But the other day, we went to the kids wanted ice cream. So when I think ice cream, I go to McDonald's. Right? It's cheap.
I go to McDonald's.
Sometimes works. Well, I will say normally the McDonald's in our house, the ice cream machine usually works. Right? So we go, and I'm like, "You guys want ice cream? Yeah, great. Okay." 4 ice cream cones, please. $8. That's fine. Whatever. Fine.
$8.
And go to TCBY. 1 ice cream cone is $7 now.
No shit.
So so I'm like $8 deal. So they're like, okay. And we pull up to the front. We've already paid and everything. And they're like, cool. Can you pull into space number 1? And I was like, I mean, yeah, dude, we just got like 4 ice cream cones, but yeah, all right, whatever. Maybe they're refilling the machine. I don't fucking know. So we pull up.
Milk the cow.
Yeah, whatever. Who fucking cares? McDonald's. They had the milk grimace or whatever.
Grimace.
Goddamn, the grimace is running low. Milk grimace jerking into the fucking cake machine again. So
and all these orders.
So we sit there for a minute, a few minutes. A couple people get their food and stuff around us. So I'm like, okay. So I'm going to go. So I'm like, kids, you just sit tight. I'm going to go check and see what's going on because this is taking a little longer than It should to get a 4 ice cream.
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
So I walk in, and as I get to the counter, of course, there's nobody there on the counter because I get it. It's nobody fucking wants to work.
It's all automated.
It's not enough money, and it's a hard ass job, dude. It really is.
Yes,
and if anybody tells me it's not, fuck you. And I will 100% stand on that. I've worked fast food.
Yeah.
It is a thankless fucking shit of a job. And thank God for everybody who does it because they are better people than me because I decided I would go back to college instead of keeping working in fast food. So that's how bad it was. And I was like, I would rather pay and learn than continue getting paid to do that. That's how fucking rough it was for me anyway. But so I go in, as I'm walking in, the lady, and God bless her, it's walking out, trying to get out with my cones, right? But they're not cones, Fred and Alan. They're
cups.
sundaes where they shove the cone in the top of the sundae, and it's just a cup of ice cream with a cone on top. And I said, are those for me? And she was like, are you? I said, because we had 4 cones. That's why I'm in here to get them. And she's like, yeah, these are for you. I said, those are not 4 cones, and I will not accept those. And she was like, what? And I said, I ordered 4 ice cream cones, not 4 sundaes.
Yeah.
I think that's totally legit. I ordered 4 fucking ice cream cones.
Yeah.
I didn't order.
What am I supposed to do with that?
If I want a cone and a
wiggle
cup,
the cup off?
I can't sneak and eat that before I get home, so that my wife doesn't know that I ate it. I can't do that.
I don't want to eat the cone first and then eat the ice cream.
No, what is this? Fucking Soviet Russia? First. Fuck that.
It's America. Yeah. It's somebody in Russia.
Eat corn first. So the lady tells the manager who's on duty, who again, I sympathize. I understand. She's like probably 35-year-old, African American lady, a little pudgy. Yeah. Because that's working at McDonald's, man. It's hard not to be a little pudgy.
Yeah.
You eating fucking McDonald's every day.
Every day.
Am I wrong, Alan?
Calvin's got his own McDonald's.
I'm describing the people who they know, so they know. So the radio listeners know.
That's a rapper name, Little Pudgy.
Little Pudge. Little Pudge. Just call me Little Pudge. So, so the young girl is like, hey, they don't want these. And the girl's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, hey, I'm sorry. That's just not what I ordered. Because I don't want the girl to get in trouble because she didn't do anything. And the girl's like, the manager lady was like, whatever. And walked off. And I was like, all right, I don't give a shit. Where are my fucking cones? I don't care.
Just give me my shit.
So she walked off, walked back around, and started making the cones. And now they make the cones where you can't see anything. So that she brought me 4 of the jankiest fucking ice cream cones I have ever seen in my life. One was this tall above the cone. The other 3 were this tall above the cone. And squished in she was like, fuck these motherfuckers. And then they just handed them to me. Here's 2, here's 2. So I have 85 degrees outside. I have 4 ice cream cones holding like this in between, looking like I have cerebral palsy or something. And it's a 30-foot walk to the car from where I'm standing, right? In the store. Or from the front of the store. So get out the store. By the time I get to the car, all 4 ice cream cones are melting very rapidly.
Yeah.
And so I tell the kids, I'm like, roll down your windows. I yell at them, roll down your windows. And so they roll down their windows and I just start shoving ice cream at them. And here's yours, here's yours. Take mine. And before I can even get around to get into the front seat of the car, all the kids are like, we're covered in ice cream.
That's why they put them in a cup.
That shit had melted.
That's why they put them in a
all
cup.
over them all. Everybody had to take showers when they got home. And I'll give credit. Jack, my oldest was like, Dad, he took 2 little bites. He's like, I can't do this. I said, you know what? Throw it out the window then. Just throw it on the McDonald's
in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Throw it at the window, not out the window.
Out the window. So he does that. Nate's in the back. He's trying, man. And he's he got the littlest one because he's the littlest guy. And so he's kind of managing his pretty well. Penny got a big one. She's poor girl, man. I look back and she's trying to like lick the ice cream cone, and it's just pouring. Her arm is white with like ice cream. It's all over her clothes, all over her legs. Her face is just covered in it. And she's like, Dad, I'm crying. I'm crying. I was like, there's nothing you can do, honey. You're just gonna have to take a shower. So that's why I try not to be an asshole, because I was like, see, this is what happened. I become an asshole. And I understand. Make no mistake, I understand, because that's exactly what I'd have been. I'm like,
why didn't you just go to QT?
I'll give you, because one of my kids doesn't like QT's ice cream.
Man, it's 99 cents.
It's 99 cents.
Ice cream. McDonald's ice cream is terrible.
They're all terrible
to me. Nah, Chick-fil-A got the best ice cream.
See, I don't like Chick-fil-A. I think it's too hard. Like a little too.
Yeah, no, McDonald's is too soft.
Yeah, well, that was the problem. And so I see now, and like I said, if it was me and I was working at McDonald's and some guy who looked like me came in and said that, I'd have been like, oh, you want ice cream cone, motherfucker? I'll give you the biggest goddamn ice cream cone you've ever seen. Times 4.
That's a hookup. That's a hookup.
You think it's a hookup until you're covered in ice cream and you look like you just fucking jerked off.
She's like, I got ice cream and I put it in a cup for you because these motherfuckers are gonna melt by the time they get to your car. You didn't appreciate
in the cup.
You don't appreciate
me. You just give it to him at the window, bro. Like you give it to him.
That's what you're supposed
to. Give it to him
and
step off.
See, instead of getting, you should have gotten what is it? A McFlurry.
A McFlurry. Too much money.
A McFlurry. You know.
Yeah.
Are we coming to America? It's like ours has the
the
bottom.
I'm okay with that. I would rather
McDonald's put their shit on the top. I put my shit.
We put that shit at the bottom.
That's right. So yeah, that's why. Again, I'm trying not to be an asshole. I'm really trying to set a good example. 50-50 shot. Speaking of that, let me ask you guys a question.
You're a good dad.
I'm not. I'm just here, and that's good enough. So, I mean, I went to get them ice cream. It just so happens I would have been better to just dump it on their fucking heads. But still, next time maybe I'll do that. So, all that said, like I said, that was that. But it got me thinking. So, Jack and I, again, 13-year-old kid, he's at that age where everything is, he knows better than me about every single thing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been using this principle on him, and he hates it. And I think it's smart. So if you're a parent, listen up. None of our people have kids probably that listen to the show, but why would they? They're smarter than me. So he doesn't understand, like you were talking about earlier, the money thing, right? It's a 20% chance, right? It's basically a 1 in 5 chance. It could be any denomination, right? So I have this thing where I keep telling him that things are a 50-50 chance. And he doesn't understand. And I'm like, it's either going to happen or it's not. It's 50-50. Yeah. And he's like, well, no, that's not. He's like, well, what about a hurricane hitting us? And I'm like, 50-50 chance.
50-50 chance.
What do you mean? Like, either a hurricane's going to hit us or it's not.
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, 50-50 on everything.
On everything, on any situation, it's a 50-50 chance.
Yep.
And he hates it. It makes him so mad. And I understand why it makes him so mad because, again, if it was me, I'd have been like, you're fucking an idiot, Dad.
Yeah, what you have to do is tell him there's a 50-50 chance of this, and then when he gets, then you'll be like, but there's a 100% chance you're going to get mad.
Right.
Yeah, 50-50. The 50% chance 100% of the time.
Yeah, but Fred, but 50-50, this is what I need to know from you, Fred. Are you aware, and Alan, you too, are you aware of a nice lady named Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah.
She's got the one with the boobies.
50s.
She has, she has. There's a 50-50 chance you're going to see her boobs in the next movie. 100% chance we're not going to see that movie. So, so you guys know who Sydney Sweeney is. For those at home, this is the pop culture portion of our show. Sydney Sweeney is a actress who is very well endowed, very popular right now. People love her. So, Fred, because of that, and this is what I need to know, 50-50 shot, are you in or are you out on this? Sydney Sweeney has developed her own soap.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
And the way that, so she's got a new soap.
I'm out.
To bottle her essence. You don't even know what it is. She's literally using her own bathwater in a soap bar and selling it as her her soap. It's called like Sydney's Essence.
Sydney's
bathwater bliss.
How you know it's her birthday? How you know it's her?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm wondering too. Is like, I mean, there is a video of her in a bathtub, and that's good.
Yeah.
I need to go past that so I can keep reading.
Yeah, did you see that? What was it? A bunch of people DM'd Mr. Beast, get him to buy him that. He finally came out. He's like, "I ain't buying you that shit."
So, apparently, there's only 5,000 bars being made. I don't know how you get 5,000 bars out of a bathtub. No, you know it's fake.
That way,
people are creepy.
That's the way she only made 5,000 of them, because then she be like, "Oh, there's only 5,000. You better get them before they're gone." You know what I mean? It's just
that's just
doing
creepy.
supply and demand.
Okay, but see, well, hold on. Now you're saying that, Alan. Please put this image on the screen. Now
that'll be her titties. If it ain't her titties, I don't want to see it.
So seeing these images, Fred, does that change your mind?
This guy. No, I thought I gonna buy it.
About
that ain't what I want. I don't want the soap.
Right? You don't want to be clean.
Does it come with one of her titties? I mean,
it might. Let me see.
Well, she said, I read on the bottom part of it, it's definitely about keeping yourself clean. I was like, well, she's got a point.
So you can get her
good hygiene.
Oh wow!
This is like
it's already sold out.
Somebody made a candle that smells like Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina.
Right, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
you actually, it's one of your news things you came up with.
That's right. So Fred, right now, if you want to get Sydney Sweeney's bathwater bliss, you want to know how much? It hasn't even gone on sale yet. They're pre-selling it, which is not really how I say that, for $70 plus shipping.
That's stupid.
Well, it's no different than OnlyFans, man.
No, at least OnlyFans, like Frank said, at least with OnlyFans,
people are going to pay for it. You know, people are going to pay for it.
Some people have OnlyFans, and
where's all the money? Where's all the money?
Where's all the money? It's not at this show.
Money ain't real.
No,
like
they're like birds.
It's not real. You can't. That's stupid. Like, people are seriously buying that. That's
okay. But now, if we were famous enough, Fred, would you consider us turning our bathwater into soap for people for money?
Ain't nobody.
I would.
Want that, boy.
They're gonna want that.
I'll be doing fart in a bottle or some shit.
There you go.
Yeah, the soap is brown because it's all dirty. Because it's all dirty water.
That's right. Like the great thing about it is they didn't use any soap before that we use this. So,
the soap is like.
That's why I take showers.
The soap
I want to see
leaves
that shit.
a ring around the bathtub, like
God, remember that?
That's
some old school shit right there. Ring around the fucking
ring around the tub. And then my mom would be pissed too.
Oh,
I gotta clean that shit off.
True. So there you go.
I mean, like, make up your mind. You want me to be clean or not?
Right. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, she'd be like, "What? You don't believe in showers?" I was like,
"You need to wash yourself in the bathtub."
Right, you got to scrub the fucking tub after you scrub your nuts.
You gotta wash.
Not in that order. Wait, you want me to scrub the tub first, then my nuts? That doesn't make sense. But I definitely don't want you to scrub your nuts first, then the tub. That's no good for anyone.
No,
everybody scrub the tub with your nuts.
Or do it at the same time. Use the hair on your nuts to get Brillo action.
The Brillo fan. Brillo nuts.
My mom had countermeasures for that. Every 5 minutes, she'd be like, gung, 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 gung. Stop playing with yourself.
Yeah.
Right. She went in with me every 5 minutes. I'd be like, damn, I'm taking his shit. I don't believe you.
Don't smell nothing.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I'm like, damn it.
Constipated, Bob, it hurts.
And then sometimes she called me out and be like, you're taking a shit? Well, open the door. No.
Like, why would I do that? Those were the days. I'm about to be experiencing that. So are you, Fred? We got some teenagers coming up here. So
your water bill's gonna start going up.
Dude, my water bill did go up because I had a leaky toilet and I didn't know about it.
Yeah,
$150 fucking water bill this month.
We just went through that shit too, man.
I'm gonna call them and see if they'll.
We just went through that fucking shit too. Fucking leaky toilet, using that much fucking water. Yeah, we using like 6,000 gallons of water. You know what I mean?
Right,
I'm like, they're like, you got a leak somewhere. I'm like, where? There's no water in the lawn. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, where the fuck is the leak coming from? Probably the toilet. What?
Right, and they're like, yeah, check the toilet. And I'm like, the one nobody uses, you mean? Of course, that's the one that
99% of the time it's a toilet.
Yeah. It was just a flapper.
Always some shit.
It was just a little,
a little flapper.
It's just a $3 piece of equipment.
And I'm like, shit, if I'd have saved the money, if I'd have known, I would have saved so much money just doing that.
Cost me $700 for that little $3 piece.
Right, for that $3, and because I was lazy.
So the lesson is, ladies and gentlemen, check your flaps.
Right. Check your flaps. Check your flaps when you take a shit.
Yeah, check your flip flaps.
When you're flapping, make sure you're napping. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think you've had enough of us. We've certainly had enough of ourselves. We're going to get out of here. And we'll do this again next week. Hey, guys, next week, just to give you what we call in the industry a tease. That's right. Next week, you'll hear my sad story, which is maybe I'll have an update by then. Probably not. I think he's dead. But sad story. And then also, we're going to have our, what is he? Oh, our fashion reporter. Our Pride Month fashion reporter is going to come on to talk about summer trends. I don't know his name. We'll figure out his name. Do you know his name, Fred, by chance?
Work your hips. Who?
Our fashion
make
reporter.
Love to the camera. Yeah. Oh, it's I don't know. No. We'll let you know next week.
It's Barry Jurgensen, male fashion reporter to the stars.
Barry Jurgensen.
Barry Jurgensen. Male fashion reporter to the stars. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back next week with a brand new show. We hope you all have a great day. And if we offended you in any way, feel free to go fuck yourself. Good night, everybody.